What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson. Just like I said in my last review, not feeling very well, so uh, hopefully I don't mess up, which I do a lot anyway. But this is the Blacklist. I'm gonna be very low key about this because normally I'd be like, "This is such a great episode" and jumping up and down, but I don't feel like it right now. Um, but this is Sir something Crispin. Um, And it really is a great episode. Again, Blacklist is really delivering this season. Um, but the main things I want to talk about, obviously, you got two separate storylines going on. You got Lizzie and Red, along with the FBI. Now, the director is involved. They're on their case, to get the blacklister, and then Tom is going after Karakurt. So I'm going to talk about Tom and Karakurt first because should be able to get over with that one really fast. Um, so he's infiltrated kind of uh, the Russians. He kind of gets himself in a situation. I don't know if this was his plan the whole time, or if things just, he I don't really know if this was his plan. But anyway, he shot that Russian guy last time. He meets with Cooper to talk about what happened, the fact that the Russians are coming after him now. He knows that is part of the plan. He wants them to come after him. So he goes to talk with the young guy that he's been working with. Um, and of course, while he's there, the Russians come to take them. He tells the guys, I don't know if it's his fiance, I think it is, tells his fiance to hide and don't come out no matter what happens. And you hear a bunch of punching, like, yeah, go Tom, kick him. And then come back like that. Goes to commercial break, and when they come back, it's not on Tom. It's back on Lizzie and Red. And then when they cut back to Tom, he's like got a dog collar wrapped around his neck, and he's chained to the other guy that he's been working with. Just like, wait, so he didn't beat them up and like threatened? He he must have let himself be captured. Okay, so what's the plan from here? And then they had like this little midget guy, which it wasn't really that interesting of a character, but he was kind of like orchestrating a fight between the two of them, um, and they have to fight to the death. And the whole time, Tom's just like, "I didn't come here to fight. I came to talk to the Russians." But the fight's not stopping, and they give the other guy a knife to make because he's already hit Tom a couple times. She's like, "Dude, if we don't fight, they're gonna kill us." And Tom's not wanting to fight him, so he's just kind of like deflecting, dodging his attacks. And when they give him a knife, though, he really comes at him with the knife. And so Tom just, first of all, takes him down because dodges the first two attacks. The third one nicks him on the arm, and so Tom obviously takes him down easily, and then just like slices open the side of his neck, and the guy dies. I'm just like, wow, like this definitely can't be part of the plan. Like he seemed like he was very upset that he had to kill him. Um, so I don't think that was part of the plan. But it does get him face to face with Karakurt and his brother or stepbrother, brother-in-law, something like that. The main guy that he was trying to get a hold of. They're right there, and so Tom is in front of them, and they're just, I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but he said, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take you back, talking to Karakurt, I'm going to take you back to D.C. so you can confess what you did. Confess to the crime that my ex-wife has been convicted of, or accused of. And they're kind of laughing. He's like, so here's what's going to happen. I got to take down the big guy first because he poses the biggest threat. Then this guy over here, he's gonna pull out a gun, likely gonna shoot one of his own men. And then Volokov here, whatever his name is, he said he looks like he's already about to pee his pants, so he's likely not gonna pose any threat. And he looks at Karakurt and says, "Which only leaves me and you." And he's like, "Wow, this guy's got." And then he just takes down the big guy, throws him in front of the other guy who shoots him, he takes his gun, shoots Volokov or whatever his name is, face to face with Carricker, and of course Carricker at this point is begging for his life. He's like, "Go, Tom!" Because I mean, this is what we saw Tom do in the first season, but it was for the bad guys. And so every time we saw this, we're just like, "I hate you, Tom." And at this point, I'm just, "Go, Tom!" I want to see he's finally working for Lizzie, which we want to see, even though he's doing bad things. It's for the right reason this time, because obviously Wrestler and the FBI have to stay inside the lines. Uh, they can't really break protocol. So it's nice to see that they have somebody working outside the lines besides Lizzie and Red. But obviously Red, from what I see next week, Red still doesn't trust Tom. But we'll see what happens there. But anyway, to the main story, which is the next Blacklister. His name's Crispin. I can't remember his first name now, but it started with a C. You start off seeing this guy. He's talking to a guy who, I can't remember the name of the disease now, but it's the one where you're in the wheelchair. It's Stephen Hawking's disease, the one where you can't talk, can't move your body at all, but can kind of move your hands and your eyes a bit. And so it looks like he has that disease, and very clearly this guy's talking about him, and very clearly you can tell this guy has he's very smart from the way this Blacklister is talking to him. And so you're like, I love how they're starting off most of these episodes showing the Blacklister first. So it kind of starts off in a mystery, like, what's going on? What are they doing? The Djinn, especially, like when you first saw her, or actually her assistant, setting up the guy with his patient or whatever that he was going to cut open. Like, what is going on? Like, this is kind of creepy. What is this? So it kind of sets up a bit of mystery and a bit of intrigue. So you're like, I want to see what he's doing. Why does he have this guy? And as it goes on, you see more disturbing images as you see somebody getting their head, a lobotomy. And he's showing all this to this guy in the wheelchair, pretty much telling him, this is what we're going to do to you. And so that's the Blacklister. And Red and Lizzie find out that this guy likely has one of Cabal's men. Another very intelligent guy. Whoever this Blacklister is, Crispin, he is kidnapping all these very intelligent people, and it happens in a pattern. He'll kidnap a man and a woman in a certain field, and so based on that, they go and find the woman that's likely to be taken after this man that's been taken. Same field. It's the only one that's as high-ranking as he is, and a little bit of a coincidence. She just happens to be in America, right nearby. And so the FBI are able to get there in time. Kind of little bit of action that we did get in this, was this. And one thing that hasn't really happened since the first season. In the first season, they did a lot of blood spatter scenes. If you watch the first season, you know what I'm talking about. There were a lot of headshots, and all these headshots like just blood spatter. A lot. Like it was kind of like when I was watching the first season, I got it on DVD because I missed it on TV, and so I was watching the first season like, wow, this is very violent. Like I wasn't even this is an NBC show. I wasn't expecting this at all. But you get a couple of violent scenes like that. One of the guys that was trying to kidnap the woman, Samar comes up behind him, and he's like holding the woman hostage, doesn't see her coming from behind because he's looking at the cops, and next thing you know, just red spray on the windshield, and he's just like, wow. Just, it's been a while since I've seen that so graphic. But that may just be me. Maybe I'm just a morbid person, but that's something that season 2 didn't have a whole lot of, And season two, honestly, like season one was amazing. Season two kind of dropped off, picked up a bit story wise, but it didn't have that same gripping feel as the first season did. The season three has really picked up back on that gripping feeling that every episode is intense, edge of your seat, like what's gonna happen next. Um, and I do think that the violence and the intensity and the graphicness does add to that. So, like I said, maybe it's just me. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed that as well. Um, let's see. After they rescue her, though, it was very interesting to see. First of all, Wrestler seems more eager to talk to Reddington now that the director has been allowed access to FBI and stuff and their task force. Um, so he seems much more willing to talk to Reddington and Elizabeth, just because now he sees what's going on. He sees the corruption of everything going on, and so even though he still doesn't trust them, he sees that likely if Elizabeth does get brought in, she probably won't get a fair trial, because they had they had their chance, this board of whatever, to kind of prove themselves, but the fact that they let the director in to the FBI, I think that kind of put him over the edge and made him say, you know what, I can't trust these people. Who knows how many palms that this guy had to grease to get favor. The same will happen to Elizabeth if she gets caught. And they do have a moment, Wrestler and Samar, where she says, if we do bring Kane in, that he's not going to let her get a fair trial. And Wrestler's like, well, he has to, because the woman that let him in let him in, like she, this is on her. If anything goes wrong, he has to play within the lines, and if he doesn't, this is going to be on her, and she won't let that happen. So anyway, moving on. Elizabeth and Red, they're staked out somewhere. You're not really sure where. Is it like this abandoned building where they're rebuilding something? And once again, a bit of mystery. Like, why are they actually there? Like, they wouldn't just go there for no reason. Because it could be a safe house, but it's not likely because it sounds like they're just there for a day, and they need this member of Cabal that Crispin has. So they're there and they find out about Crispin and his plane and his facility, and what he's doing is he's putting people on ice, and all these geniuses, and they find out about his plane, where his plane's going. The director hacks. I don't know if he hacked into the network and gave them false information or what, but somehow he convinced the FBI that their plane was going to a different airfield. It was landing in Pittsburgh, so he sent them in the opposite direction so he could get there first, and Reddington obviously would be there too, and so it would give them a chance to take out Elizabeth and Red without the FBI being there. And so he sends that the black guy, Solomon. He sends him with the team to take out Elizabeth and Red. Well, they get there first, obviously, and Red talks to Crispin. I really love these one-on-one conversations that Red has with people. Like, he's just, James Spader, man, he's a great actor. Crispin's main plan is to cryogenically freeze these people, so when the world ends, you have all these geniuses that can rebuild the world. And Red kind of tries to set him straight and say, look, you're taking away all the minds that could possibly save the world from ending. So what matters is now, not the future, because the future is not guaranteed. And he pretty much doesn't accept that. He completely believes that this is the best way, even though there's no proof that freezing somebody cryogenically will even save them, will keep them alive. He still believes that. And Red, kind of to rush things along, but to also prove his point, shoots him And so they go back, find the Cabal member, take off his thumbs, uh, just before Solomon gets there. After Solomon and the team get there, they're going through. Red takes out a couple guys and shoots his way into cover, so he and Lizzie escape. And of course, the director's not very happy. But on the bright side, everything went well for the good guys this time. Uh, Wrestler points it all out to Samar because she's not completely convinced. Because they didn't get to the plane. The director put them in the wrong direction, and Elizabeth and Red nearly died. They barely made it out. But he does point out, one, the director didn't stay inside the lines, and so now he's got an image of Solomon, knows that he's working for the director, so now they have a lead. Obviously, Red and Elizabeth got what they needed. And it does show Red breaking into the bank, which is this building that they were at that's being renovated. They break in through that building, so it makes sense. But they break into, it looks like a bank, and open up a lockbox, use the thumbs to open it up, and get the information and get out of there just before the director gets there. And so he opens it up and only finds the thumbs. Genius. And they don't, once again, kind of keeping us in the dark on Red's whole plan, because we meet the lawyer from a few episodes ago that he broke out of prison, that was also on the Blacklist. So once again, I have to mention, I need a bit more consistency with Blacklisters, because for most of the first season it seemed like we were taking Blacklisters out of the situation, out of the equation. And now it seems like some Blacklisters live, some of them die, some of them we need later, some of them he wasn't going to, the Jen, he was going to help her escape, and then Lizzie said nope. So that's a minor nitpick that, the whole point of the show felt like the Blacklist is, we're going to capture all of them. But then again, it does, change a bit, so I don't mind it too much. It's just something that I think about from time to time. But that lawyer did come in handy, and you don't know what information he got. And he calls the director at the end of the episode and tells him, "Look, this is your last chance to exonerate Elizabeth King, or else, I will force the Cabal to kill you." Because basically his whole strategy is he'll just keep coming after them, keep tearing apart the Cabal organization until some of the underlings decide, look, enough is enough, and kills the director to stop the bleeding. Which Solomon, from time to time, seems like he's about to. Like he's on the very edge of trying to kill the director, because he's very upset about a lot of the decisions that he's making this season. So you see that Red's plan is working. But that's about it for this episode. There are 2 more episodes this half of the season. Can't believe it's already almost. It feels like it just started. But that's what the show brings. It. Gonna talk about Bones again. Shows like, or at least this show, it started a while ago, but it feels like it's been on for even longer. Like, I'm just like, how many episodes are left? There can only be a few episodes left, right? Like, it can't be that many episodes left. The Blacklist, it's like, this is, I think, episode 8, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's episode 8. But it feels like we're still on episode 5. Like, it's just, time flies when you're having fun, so do TV shows. When the TV shows are fun and exciting, 8 episodes feel like, only 4, because you're just like, I want there to be more. And terrible shows like Bones, unfortunately, for this season, even though I don't want it to be terrible, it feels like, we've been through 12. Can't you just end it already? Even though it's only been like maybe 6 or 7. So, but once again, the Blacklist delivers. Good action again. Um, Great story, really good. All these villains have been very interesting motivations, very interesting stories, sometimes keeping us in the dark about them completely, sometimes revealing bit by bit what they're doing. You don't even know about the whole cryogenic thing until 15 minutes left in the episode. Wrestler and Samar stumble upon his organization and find all these frozen bodies, and you're just like, holy crap. So, I mean, this show really does bring it all. Um, and it's not the best show, but it really is a good show. And I 100% suggest anybody who happens to be watching this for some reason that has not watched the show. Uh, so, but if you are watching this because you've watched the show, suggest it to your friends and family because they need to watch the show. But anyway, that's about it for this review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.